I mean, I'm sorry, but Midsummer, like say, it's a village, lovely, kind of peaceful, classic British countryside, a lovely village, 1,000 people. And I don't know how many episodes there were, because I remember I've only seen it for 20 seconds. But even if there were 50 episodes, I don't know, if I was living there, I would probably have left after, murder number 3, or even murder number 1. I wouldn't have stuck. But someone gets murdered every week. Surely it would become famous in Britain. What, Midsummer? Don't fucking live there? You want to move there? I mean, the house prices must be like, almost zero. It makes no sense. I mean, this is the murder capital of Britain. It's the murder capital of Britain. Forget about, the chances of, as soon as you cross the border, as soon as you've seen the sign Midsummer, you can start writing your will, basically, because, the chances of being slaughtered in some strange, unknown way are quite high. And the same thing with Tölz, BullevonTölz, does a great job. Otti. I didn't meet him once. It's bad to say you met him. No. I didn't, because to meet someone is, to shake their hand and, say hi. And then you can say, oh, I met you. It's kind of like the joining of hands. No, I didn't meet him. No, I walked past him. He was in Munich, in München. And he was in a great hurry. I don't know what it was, but he had red face, he was sweating, and then actually, no. He always looks like that, sorry. No, but he went, he was going quite fast. For Otti, he was, I wouldn't say he was, steaming. I wouldn't say it's kind of Usain Bolt kind of speed, but he was, he was moving at a higher speed than I expected him to be moving at. Let's put it that way. He was obviously in a hurry. I don't know. He forgot his script for the BullevonTölz. You don't need to forget the script because it's always the same, and he always says the same thing. Hey, what's this with you? It's always the same. Yeah. So I mean, his agent doesn't need to send him the script because it's just like, was, aber das darf nicht da sein. It's like, wo ist meine Wurstsemmel? It's like, it's always the same. Because he just kind of pops up and, aber, das habe ich je gesagt. It's like, and then he solves the. But fair play to him. No, he does always solve the mystery. There's no fucking mystery. Someone's getting murdered, just like in Midsummer, on a regular basis, in a very small, let's say in small areas with a very limited population. So, number one, either you have a serial killer, like a really like real serial killer, that's gone rampant, just gone wild, and the police officers, both of them, in Midsummer and Tölz, have no fucking idea, and they basically keep finding someone else who did. Oh, it was him. It was Fritz, and in Midsummer Murder, it was Lord Anthony McHammond. Okay, it was, but still, people keep getting murdered. So it's either, I think this is my take on it. Either there's like some serial killer that's basically killing, obviously, a lot. In both Tölz and in Midsummer, could even be the same person. And so clever that manages to always somehow, push it over or make sure the evidence or the facts go to this person, to Lord Faversham, or to, Hans in Tölz, or, and Hans the Kellner, or Lord Faversham, the pig farmer, whatever. He manages to get it over to both of them, And meantime, those people, off you go to jail, no more, one-time murders for you. And meanwhile, the next week, someone else gets murdered. Again. It's kind of bizarre. So I don't know if the writers somehow they put us in this it's not a suspension of disbelief. It's kind of this kind of bubble, this kind of Agatha Christie world, because that's kind of where it began. This kind of Agatha Christie, village, church, harmless, innocent, policeman, butler. School mom, school mistress, everyone riding bicycles and, poking their heads out of lace curtains. Oh, I see the vicar has not ironed his collar this morning. Marjorie. That kind of thing. So Christie, I think, kind of broke the mold. And it kind of brought this feeling of that anything can happen. Anyone can be murdered. It can be anything dreadful can happen in a small, kind of quiet, quaint village environment, which is kind of disturbing in one way, and another way, it allows you to work within that landscape, within that environment. So that's easy. You always got the fixed characters, just like in the Christie books. It's like, okay, we know who the characters are, and then it's kind of the whodunit. Who did it? Because we're within this limited. The population of Bad Tölz, I think it's like 18,000, 19,000, something like that. Yeah. Population of Midsomer. This is kind of hazy there. It's around about, if you look officially, it's around about 15 to 17,000. I mean, it doesn't really. There is a place called Midsomer. Yes, there is. But where it's filmed and where it's based on, it's actually a book originally, based on a book. Yeah. But where it's filmed, it's kind of filmed in various areas, beautiful areas, around Midsomer, whatever you want to call it, Midsomer. But nevertheless, and there was, it's still the murder capital, not only of Britain, but apparently of most of the Western world, when you look at it. Because this is true, they ran some analysis, the specialists, I mean the people that have time, to basically run analysis to try and work out, they looked at the population of a theoretical town, city, place called Midsomer, not theoretical, okay, it does exist, plus the neighboring area. Even it was like 17,000, 18,000 inhabitants of that specific town, stroke village. And the number of murders over the Midsomer series, it's something like 277 or 284 murders. So it's like, it's pretty regular. That's a lot of people getting murdered. So 280 people murdered from a population of, let's say 18,000. I would start to get a bit worried if I was living in that area. I mean, it's like the house prices and so on. I mean, it's strange. And they ran this analysis, and the strange thing was that in the news it said, yes, there's luckily there are other cities in the world with higher murder rates. It said that. Luckily there are other places in the world with higher murder rates. And I was thinking, okay, but those places actually exist. Those are real places. Midsomer is, it's fiction. It's a fictional place. It's a conglomeration of various beautiful places that people could come and visit on a bus tour, like they do with Rosamund Pilcher. Really, they have these bus tours. They come from all over the place. I know people, not me, no. I know people that have, been on those bus tours to Rosamund Pilcher, to the house in Cornwall. They go there. The bus tours. They come in. They go out. It's a huge business. It's a huge business. It's like, and people have this idea of Cornwall. You know, like the sun, the coast, you know, seagulls squawking. Do they squawk? They certainly don't coo. But yeah, seagulls, yeah, making their seagull noises. You know, sand, sea, of course. And you know, they come there. But if you've actually ever been to Cornwall, or been there for some time, it's kind of, it is like that. But the thing about Cornwall is that it's kind of like a micro ecosystem that has nothing what to do with the weather, the other weather in the rest of Britain. In Cornwall, it's like, okay, you wake up in the morning and you'll drive down to the beach and you can't see more than 5 meters in front of your face because it's foggy. You get down to the beach. I used to go down there surfing like at 6 in the morning. It's foggy. You can't see anything. It's kind of like, you know, 18th century Sherlock Holmes kind of fog. Really. Like, again, I have no idea how Sherlock Holmes actually managed to catch any of the criminals back in those fictional days. Just like Midsummer. I have no idea how he did it, because you couldn't see anything. You know, someone robbed a bank and then disappeared off into the fog. We think we're after him, but we can't see anything. You can't even see more than 5 meters in front of your face because there was too much fog coming in from the estuary. So it's amazing how he did it, and that's why Sherlock Holmes was, you know, quite special, because he had those extrasensory powers that went beyond the fog. He could see through the fog, not only physically but also through the fog of the case itself. So yeah, you come to Cornwall and you know, it's fog. Oh, and now it's sunny. It's suddenly, after 10 minutes, the wind picks up and blows. Oh, no, it's sunny, beautiful. You put on your bikini, or, you know, I don't put on a bikini. Whatever. You put on your swimming clothes. Oh, sun's out. Wonderful. Let's go and lie on the beach. Suddenly, down comes the fog again. As the wind stops, boom, down again. So it's kind of a schizophrenic kind of climate. Palm trees grow there. Yes, it is. That's what I mean. Schizophrenic. There's nowhere else in England where they could grow palm trees. Palm trees are there. You know, it's a very temperate climate, but also, yeah, very schizophrenic. So yeah, these bus trips come for Rosamund Pilcher, you know, and float around, and people come in and look at ornaments on the walls, and literally walk through the house. You can go in the front door. I think it's the first level. You know, there's these kind of like, you know, stone houses in Cornwall, and then you come out the back door, and the bus is waiting for you there, and you know, off you go again to I don't know, back into the fog. But yeah, so Midsummer. Yeah, the murder, the theoretical or the fictional murder capital of not only Britain but almost of the entire world. 285 people or 290 people murdered in a very short space of time as well. You know, this didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen, you know, over a period of, like, you know, 30 years, which still would have been strange. In a town or a population with 18,000 people. You know, I mean, everybody here, you know, comes from certain towns or wherever. If there's 277 people, even if it's murdered, they're murdered over a 50-year period, I would still say this is a strange place to live. I definitely would not go and live there because something's seriously wrong. And the whole idea of this again is that it's this kind of not dumbing down. It's this kind of this anti-sensing or this feeling that you know, to be murdered or this kind of, you know, death and blood and so on is kind of just like acceptable. Like with like we said before, like with the Miss Marple kind of Agatha Christie, you know, bringing it to the village environment. It's kind of, oh, it's fine. And of course they get more inventive. Like the scriptwriters get more inventive as time goes by. You know, not only can again, I was reading the Midsummer breakdown of these multiple murders in a very small environment. Yeah, people were poisoned. Someone was killed by the trident from from some Greek god. Goodness knows what was going on there. I mean, how on earth? I've only seen in fact, I've seen 20 seconds, as I said before. But I mean, you're getting killed by Neptune's trident was one, poisoning, garroting. I mean, any kind of physical violence is dreadful. It's horrible. But it seems to be, just standard fare. I've seen it. I've seen people sitting there, the crime's been carried out, by the perpetrator of these multiple serial murderer. And, the detectives, oh yes, he was hung by his neck, then cut into pieces with a machete, and then put back together again, and then cut into pieces again, and then hung again, and then put back together again, and he was still alive. He was still alive. And there was blood coming out of his ears and coming out of his knees, and they chopped him up, and chopped him up, and chopped him up again, and he was still alive. And we're going to find out who did this. And, people watching this, it's just like, Jim, it's like a man and wife watching it. Jim, do you want some more cheese on your toast? Do you want extra cheese? Yeah, I'd like a bit more cheese, and can you give me some ketchup as well? All right, love. What's happening now? I missed that part. Oh, nothing really. Nothing special. He's dead. He's been murdered. Oh, how did he get murdered? I know. It's pretty boring, really. Nothing special. Nothing special. Can you bring me a glass of beer as well, love? All right, thanks.